Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Hill Heat Podcast, brought to you by the Sports Mark Analysts. We are here. It is 12:24 in the morning on Royal Rumble Day. We are here to bring you our Royal Rumble predictions. I am the greatest world heavyweight champion in history. I am vacant. You see me carrying my WCW Big Gold Championship right now. I am joined by my partners in crime for the first time in a long time. My man Jay up in New York
Yeah,
with all the women's, and my man Paul taking over the state of Florida. What's going on? How
let
y'all
me
doing? How y'all holding up?
let me talk to you. Yeah, I
Anyway,
ain't got
it's been a
nothing to say,
long
but I
day.
just say that.
It's been a long day, and we're gonna give you guys our predictions and everything for Royal Rumble 2023. And we're gonna start it off with a
God damn.
really weird match that I just want to get out of the way because no one, I don't even think Bray Wyatt himself knows what the rules are to this match. We have the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. I'm gonna hand it off to Paul. Who you got for this one, man?
I don't even know where to start with this one, to be honest. Because of the fact that it's like, what is it? Like, what is a pitch black match? Like, y'all fighting with glow sticks? like, but as all we all know, it's gonna be Bray Wyatt winning this one. I mean, there's no other way around it. I mean, this is to build him back up, especially after we saw on Raw, where it like you literally have the passing of the torch. You didn't get the match for the passing of the torch, but you had the passing of the torch between Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. So this is literally to build Bray Wyatt up even further. So this is an obvious like no brainer. Bray Wyatt, whatever match is going to be, he's going to win this match. If he loses this one, where are they going to go with this?
Jay, what you looking at?
Let me talk to you. Yeah, tell you what. Tell you what right now. One, gonna be a cinematic match. By far. They're bringing back the cinematic matches. Got to. Too much advertisement in this one. Two, I'm gonna say my man LA Knight's gonna win. Yeah, because the setup that I've heard about was Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy at WrestleMania. And the only way to set that up is for him to cost Bray Wyatt or make Bray Wyatt do something that he doesn't want to do, where it turns into a no contest, making LA Knight the winner, but having Bray Wyatt still look strong. So I'm going with LA Knight. Yeah.
Hey, that's honestly where it is that I'm thinking they're leading to is the eventual match between Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy at WrestleMania. The only thing that I have that is keeping me from thinking that way is the fact that there seems to be some prevailing thought that's starting to pick up a little bit of steam within the wrestling, like internet wrestling community, that Uncle Howdy is actually, stay with me, Alexa Bliss. I don't know how that correlates, but WWE is just weird enough to do some dumb shit like that. However, I don't think LA Knight actually loses anything by losing this match. So in my case, I am going to go with Bray Wyatt. I do think they still set that match up, but I also think you can set that up and still have Bray win because he doesn't necessarily have to interfere in the match. He can attack him after the match if that's the case. So it's just like, I don't know. But like I said, I wanted to get that one out of the way because what the hell is it even doing here? Right? So next up on the docket, Paul, I don't know if you're just going to type faster or whatever real quick. But like I said, next up on the docket, I'm going to throw the women's championship match out there. That is going to be Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. We do not have a SmackDown Women's Championship match tonight. And before we even go into it, I'm pretty sure every single one of us has Bianca. But Paul, who you got?
I This is a strange one. I feel like they are really leading Alexa Bliss turning. Um, and I thought they were gonna do something on Monday. I was trying to pay attention because it was kind of weird where they had her talking to the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
just playing with her hair. So I feel like she's starting to revert back to old character with slight, small, little hints here and there. Now the question is, like, when is this going to pay off? Like, how much further along are we going to sit here? Like, I don't mind playing the long game, but it's like the details have to get a little more, you know, out there. They're still small and minute here and there if you're not paying attention.
Mhm.
I have Bianca winning, but I think we need to pay attention to Alexa Bliss and where her character is going and how she's most likely reverting towards working with Bray like she should have before. Probably corrected this way now. So I Bianca retains. I don't know if she beats her or if it's like gonna be a disqualification because something might happen. But Bianca wins.
Jay, who you got?
I got technically Bianca winning. Yeah. But I got Alexa getting influenced by Uncle Howdy and losing it again. But because this is a regular title match, she can still lose it by disqualification. So technically, Bianca would win, but Alexa will look strong and continues to be influenced by Uncle Howdy. And ultimately, again, I think this is leading to that Wyatt 6 faction that we heard about a couple of months ago. So I think this is just a way to deepen her character and give her real stakes. Because at the end of the day, if she was just turning and she wasn't doing anything, we wouldn't care. But the fact she's going for the women's title now, it's like Alexa hasn't had a title since what, like 2016?
2018.
2018. So it's real stakes. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right, so for me, I don't think we're going to end up with a DQ finish in this one because the last time they had a match, that's actually how they ended it. It was literally the exact same thing. Like Uncle Howdy, they had the Uncle Howdy thing or whatever, and then Alexa just went crazy, started beating everybody up and all kinds of other stuff. I know they made it a point in Alexa's promo before, like this past Monday, for her to say, "Everybody leave me the hell alone," as if she was trying to tell Uncle Howdy to leave her alone. So what I see happening in this case, because Alexa doesn't have an established character just yet. Nobody knows where this thing is actually going. So in my case, I'm looking at it like you don't have justified cause to actually put the title on her, so Bianca's going to win. But I think what you're going to get is a justified cause for her to turn to Uncle Howdy because she went out there, probably gets her ass beat or whatever, can't hang with the EST, and then turns around and says, like, all right, listen, I need to try something else. You were trying to tell me that I can't do this on my own. Let's figure this out. And then she turns and goes to Uncle Howdy, and then they figure whatever, they take her character whichever way she's going after that. That's the only way I really see it happening. Like I said, they've already played the disqualification card. They do it again. I'm gonna look at Trips like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, you also got to remember Vince is back in the corporate offices. So
yeah, but it's said that he's not going to take anything creative, like
they can say what they want.
I don't trust that.
That's what I said.
There's also there's lawsuits literally left and right coming because of the way he got himself back into power. There's a lot of legal stuff that's going on there. They're saying that he did it the wrong way, he didn't do it the right way. So everything he's doing might get undone because of how he did it. I think he forced his way in it. I forgot how they were saying it, but it's something how he did it. It was not right, and there's a lot of legal action.
Well, he said that he wasn't. He said that if he wasn't put back in power by the board, he wasn't gonna agree to any sale, no matter who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is he literally forced his way back into the
It's essentially blackmail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that's the actual wording in the lawsuits or whatever, but that's pretty much what they're going for.
Yeah.
But anyway, not to get too far off track, we got 3 more that we got to go through. All right. So we got another of the formality matches tonight. That is going to be the Universal Championship. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. Again, formality. Pretty sure we all got Roman. But Jay, who you got, man?
Roman. Next.
Exactly.
I mean, they're just going to keep playing up the storyline. It's probably going to lead to, I think, a Sami Zayn match at Elimination Chamber or Sami in the Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing. Is like this is one of those where we got to see what happens because they're remember what Roman said to him to Sami on Monday is like your final test comes Saturday, Royal Rumble. What is it? We don't know. We don't know if it's on this match or if it's actually in the Rumble. So I still think we need to watch this because I think whatever is going to happen in Mania is going to start getting set up already, and this is a big piece that's going to happen at the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
But I agree, Roman wins this. I don't think he's going to lose it at all. If he loses a belt, that's a conversation for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the next premium event. My bad.
It's a pay-per-view. I don't give a shit what they call it.
Yep.
Anyway, like I said, I'm just going to complete the circle. It's another Roman Reigns victory. I think I heard this earlier, and this is kind of going to spoil me going forward, obviously, all the way through WrestleMania. Roman Reigns is currently at, I think, 881 days as champion. WWE loves their numbers. And what I was doing before, when y'all was still talking or whatever, before we started recording, I was looking up when he's going to get to day 1,000. May 27th is when he would hit day 1,000, which is a whole month and a half after WrestleMania. So, like I said, Roman Reigns for the win, and I probably just spoiled my Royal Rumble pick too.
Well, that's the thing here. The thing that gets me is there is a caveat to this.
The WWE title,
yeah, because they're counting his continued reign as Universal Champion, which is what the number is. It's not they can call it Universal. They can put all the names on it. It's a Universal title. As long as he doesn't lose the Universal title, his streak doesn't end.
Now,
if he loses the WWE title, we don't really care.
The one thing I am going to say about that, though, is I know one of the prevailing ideas is, oh, well, he can just lose it in Elimination Chamber. I don't want Roman Reigns to be pinned or submitted in any way, shape, or form until he loses the Universal title. That needs to be momentous because somebody will have literally taken out the longest reign in modern wrestling history. So I don't think anybody needs to actually put his shoulders down on the mat, have him pass out, have him tap out, nothing. So if in fact they're going to do something to actually get the WWE title off it, this is going to be the most convoluted shit ever. Is you got to either do a triple threat match and have somebody win that title specifically, which to me, I don't like that. But the other one is a ladder match.
Or
you sit up here.
Hear me out.
Go ahead, because I got one.
You realize how he keeps testing Sami, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if he has to defend both titles on both nights, right? But instead of him defending both titles both nights, Sami has to defend the WWE title on the night that he has the WWE title and loses. So technically the title switches hands, but it never has to be Roman.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I don't think if we're talking completely 100% in kayfabe, and you're talking us completely marking ourselves for this one, I don't think Roman himself as a character would ever do that. But WWE, like I said, if you want to throw Adam Pearce out there as a de facto guy who just gets tired of Roman shit and is just like, all right, listen, this is how we're going to do this, and there's nothing you can do about it, then yeah, then it'll work. But I don't think Roman himself would actually be like, all right, listen, this is what you got to do. Because then, like I said, it's out of his control, and he's a control freak.
True.
The only other way I see it is if he gets in a match, like say with Bobby, for example, and he gets put in a hurt locker, and he doesn't tap, but he just passes out.
I don't think you can do that.
But see, here's the reason why I say this is because he doesn't necessarily tap, so he doesn't really submit, but he loses because he kind of like passed out a bit. You know what I mean? So you don't have him submit, but he technically loses because he can't fight no more.
I give you the one way that works in that particular situation. Roman passes out, but he passes out in the ropes, and the ref doesn't see it.
You can have his foot on the rope.
Kind of how, if you remember, they had a triple threat match a long time ago when Stone Cold was the WWE champion. It was him against Benoit and Jericho. Benoit and Jericho had this dude in both submission holds at the same time.
I remember that.
Austin tapped, but he tapped when his hand was under the rope, so it's invalid. So it's the only way that you can like literally get away. My ideal is this right here. Go ahead and put the undisputed WWE Universal title on the line. Like I said, this is WWE. You can make up your rules as you fucking go along. Do you recall WrestleMania 36 when it was John Morrison, one of the Usos, and Kofi Kingston in a ladder match for all of the tag titles?
Mm-hmm.
They had a ladder match. Kofi and whoever the Uso was, I forgot who it was. I think it was Jey Uso.
I think
the two of them were fighting over the hanger, and John Morrison fell off the ladder with the titles in his hands. You have a similar situation like this. Roman and whoever he's facing are fighting over the championships on the top of the ladder. Remember, there are two titles on this thing. Somehow, some way, Roman gets his hands on the Universal title and gets ready to pull that one off. As he pulls that one off, the WWE title comes off in the other guy's hands. That way, like I said, Roman stays as Universal Champion. He does not get pinned, and you get the belt off of him without having to strip the title from him.
See, the only downside to this that I see is since Cody came back, everyone's waiting for Cody to have that WrestleMania moment where he validates all the bullshit that Vince put Dusty through.
Mm-hmm. I know.
All of the trickery and all that shit takes away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has to pin somebody. I'm not saying he has to pin Roman. He's got to pin somebody.
And that's honestly the problem with them having both adults on him.
Yeah.
You have two inactive world championships.
I do think you can pull what they did with Bobby last year, though, at Elimination Chamber.
With him getting hurt?
Yeah.
That's technically a way that you can do that mess. I don't like the fact that they would have to do it again.
Doing it.
I wouldn't like that that's the way to do it again, but like that's a way that they could get it done.
Well,
somehow remove him from the match.
They're doing a lot of the substitution shit now.
You can do that. He gets hurt, and he goes like, "Well, somebody needs to fill in your spot."
That's what.
And then it's Sammy.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Sammy loses, obviously.
If Sammy himself steps in that case, and is the one that's just like, no, let me do it, because like I said, in my case, in my mind, he's not sending Sammy, he's sending Solo.
Or he's sending Jay.
Yeah.
Well, no. So what has to happen is the Usos need to be in a match, and they're all messed up. They can't fight. Solo needs to be in a match, and he gets like put through a table or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or he could be in the Elimination Chamber match itself as well. So it takes him out of being in that match as a replacement. Then that's when Sammy's like the only option that Roman has for a substitution. You know what I mean?
But even then, unless they sit up there and they go with the route of, all right, Adam Pearce is just like, all right, listen, legitimately only one of the titles is going to be on the line in this match. Then either way, like when he goes into the match, both of the championships are going to be on the line.
Well, I think he can do it in a way where once they have the Elimination Chamber, he can be like, nah, I'm not defending both of my titles. He can just be like, I'll put this one up, but I'm not defending both of my titles. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but in the situation that they're in, they have to kind of get people to the point where you have to suspend the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to almost make Roman act out of character and in such a way of, because again, they have it where he's starting to spin into some weird paranoia.
Yeah.
Where he's going to start doing things that's not necessarily in Roman Reigns' character.
I got kind of a way to actually do it.
Yeah, or you have Paul Heyman jump in trying to be the good person that he is, and he makes the stipulation. And Roman is looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it that way. But somebody has to, at this point, step in and change the way that's going to happen.
Let's just sit up here and say whoever wins the Royal Rumble, they got to give Pierce their answer immediately. All right?
Yeah.
Because you got 2 nights of WrestleMania, you have 2 world titles. So there need to be 2 title matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so you decide.
And if that person goes and says, I
want the Universal Championship.
And if I honestly feel if it's Cody, he's going to go for the heavyweight.
He's going to go for the WWE title.
He's going for
that's the title he wants.
Right. And if he goes after that one, he's going to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hands down. He's going to have to take it off of him. And if that's going to be at the Mania match, then Roman's not going to be Elimination Chamber.
That's it. The only way I could see this happening is that they're just like, all right, listen, you get a title shot for a championship at WrestleMania. So you got to choose which one you're going to go after. And then they have it up there where it's just like, all right, listen, I hate the idea of them stripping him of the WWE title, but they got to get that belt off of him somehow.
And here's the thing, too. It works out because of the fact that you can have him, it's going to be crazy because you rather have it night 2, but you can have Roman and The Rock on night 1. Roman maintains and, beats The Rock for the Universal title, but then he's battered and bruised and faces Cody. So he's going to end up losing the match. It's going to be a good match still, but he goes in battered and bruised already, and he loses to Cody.
That was my original idea.
But the thing is like, do you want The Rock and Roman to end night 1 or to end night 2?
No, like WWE would want that match to end night 2.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But the thing too is that if you do Roman Cody night 1, it'll work out still.
It either way, like what would happen is if you put Roman Cody on night 1, that match has to end in a Roman retaining some way somehow.
No. He can lose that match. He can lose that match, get a title off of him, and you have Cody with what he needed to do. Boom. You know what I mean? But then the issue comes down is like, how do you maintain a storyline with The Rock and Roman after he lost the previous night?
That's what I'm saying. Because if you have Cody win that match in that hypothetical situation, then you're ending up in another situation where you've taken heat off of the other match.
Right. But
it's still a big time match, but you got a guy that you have been bigging up Roman, I believe, has lost one match since December 2019, and that one match that he lost was him getting disqualified by beating the living hell out of Seth Rollins.
Right. And here's the thing.
Match with Sam.
How do you want to end night 1? How do you want night 2? What's the bigger story? The Rock losing to Roman Reigns, or Cody beating Roman Reigns and accomplishing what his father couldn't? And
who you pushing?
You know what I'm saying?
Who are you promoting to?
That's the thing, because this is not Vince no more. This is Trips, so this is a whole different ballgame. Because I have more faith in Trips, because we don't know where he's gonna go. He can go either way, and this is a good problem to have and a bad problem to have. You know what I mean? Because it's a good problem because you have two good like main event matches, but how are you gonna play them?
I still like my Elimination Chamber idea. And I'd even go as far as to say you have Jay or Jimmy enter the match, and guess who wins the title? Seth.
Jimmy? Seth. Which will put him on a collision course with Cody.
And finish the trilogy.
The 4 times.
I mean, that could work too. But I mean, because then you can have them on night 1 and Roman Rock on night 2.
Yeah.
That's like the cleanest way to do it. And it's a better, in a lot of ways, Seth versus Cody at the grandest show of them all is way more poetic, I think, than Cody versus Roman. Because it's like, it's his real son versus like his real first success, which was turning Tyler Black into Seth Rollins. And so it's like his hypothetical son versus his real son. It's a story told a bunch of times, but it's not like no one's going to buy into it because it's not like it's there. And you can have it where Roman flips out on Sammy, and that's like the final straw where Sammy is just like, screw this, and leaves the bloodline. And that's how you set up the Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
And you have it be, you know, the reluctant Usos, obviously, because, you know, they're only doing it because of Roman, but they don't feel great about it, which is why they lose.
Yeah, no, this is a messy situation. Honestly,
I don't let it go on for too damn long.
I don't envy Triple H's position right now because
you're gonna lose either way. You're gonna piss somebody off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the prevailing thought right now with the men's rumble, which I'm not doing just yet, that we're doing the women's rumble first, but the prevailing thought for the men's rumble is Cody wins and you have another Daniel Bryan situation because Sammy is so hot.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I don't envy Triple H's position at all, but we're here to make predictions. We're not here to book. So,
thank God, because
yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, moving on to the Women's Royal Rumble. This, once again, for those who are just like watching us, just catching up, what we do for our Royal Rumbles, for our Money in the Bank, everything like that, each of us makes 2 picks. We have a number 1 pick and a number 2 pick. The number 1 pick, if they win, gets us 2 points. The number 2 pick gets us 1 point. That's basically how that works. All right. Jay, starting off with you. Where are you going with the Women's Royal Rumble?
I feel like it's going to be a universal number 1, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley. She's too hot not to put her in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And I also kind of think it's a nice story because Charlotte is champion. I kind of think you run that back and you give her the win that she should have got a couple of years ago at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, you bring Judgment Day over to SmackDown. And you finally pay off the whole Dominic Rey Mysterio thing. Because it's about that time. Like, Rey ain't got much longer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
My second pick is actually Alexa Bliss, who I think enters the Rumble after losing to Bianca. And by WrestleMania, she'll be a full-fledged character. And that's where you really like drive it home that Alexa is back. And she's deadlier than ever.
You have to remember, the way they usually do it is the Women's Royal Rumble opens the entire show. And the matches are in between.
They would do that too.
I think they've been doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, no, they had, like I said, they had the Women's Rumble close the first time. And I believe, the first 2 times they had it closed. But, like, there's right now, there's like a de facto when it comes to the women. So, I don't think they're going to do anything but have it open.
Right.
So that kind of kills my second pick.
Mhm.
I can't think of anybody as a number 2 that would remotely make sense outside of like maybe Becky. Actually, my number 2, I'm gonna pick Bayley because, like, why not? She hasn't really won anything big. I don't think she's ever won a Royal Rumble.
She hasn't. She needs to, but she hasn't.
She needs to. And honestly, if I'm Triple H, like, with, you know, what's her name? Mercedes Moné doing what she's doing right now, like, you need to shift the focus to someone massive that you're going to get behind.
Mm-hmm.
And you already have your title on your 2 most massive stars. Like, the only other person that actually makes sense to be in that stratosphere and has heat with both the champions would be Bayley. So that's my second pick.
Well, who you got?
My first pick was Bayley.
Really?
Yes, because like what Jay said, like the one person that has heat with both current champions and could literally be like hold it like dangling over their heads. Who do I want to fight for the title? Whose title do I want? And carry that up to like a month or 2 is Bayley. Like if you think about it, like who other wrestler could do that and do it really good? Like I don't think there's anybody else. And my second pick, I was leaning towards Rhea, but if Rhea does win it, she'd have to face Bianca because the whole point of moving Ray over to SmackDown was to keep him away from Dominic. And I think they won't pay that off like Jay's hoping because of the fact that if they were going to, they would probably would have done it where they go to SmackDown so Ray and Dominic can have that match at Mania. Not SummerSlam, but at Mania.
No, but I mean, again,
I'm address that in the
Royal Rumble.
I'm gonna address the Ray Dominic thing in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So my second pick, I'm leaning towards
shit.
What happened?
Jay just thought of somebody.
Yep.
I was thinking of Raquel Rodriguez.
That's another one. Another one that would make sense.
I was thinking of Raquel.
Fuck.
Like she couldn't beat what's her name?
Ronda
Rousey, the whole elbow and everything like that. But I think she finally, now that's all clear, all that stuff with the elbow injury, would get a good match, solid match out of either Bianca or Charlotte, depending where she goes. So that's my second pick is Raquel Rodriguez.
All right. Like I said, I already spoiled my first pick. My first pick is Rhea Ripley. I think you're going to pay the Dominic Ray thing off at WrestleMania, regardless of whether Rhea goes after Bianca or she goes after Charlotte. Personally, just because I think this match itself would be much better, I would want Rhea to go after Bianca. I think that match in and of itself would be, like, to me, much more interesting because of the fact that I know how Charlotte matches go. Where there's 95% Charlotte on offense, and then you get a 5% hope spot, regardless of whether the other person is a heel or a face. So, like I said, I'm not necessarily looking forward to something like that. Plus, like I said, Charlotte kind of sort of just got back, and they're trying to portray her as a face, which never works or never lasts long.
It's not gonna last long, but it's fucking working.
Yeah, I just like the fact that she literally came back and got an automatic match and then won it.
Well, she's Charlotte; she does that.
I know, but it's just still. It's like I'm like, really? I'm like, damn, y'all did Ronda Rousey dirty. Like, I'm not a fan of Ronda, but damn, y'all did her dirty, bro.
Well, in kayfabe, that's her dumbass fault. She should have accepted it.
I know.
That's pretty much how it is. My second pick, I honestly have been trying to work this out the entire time because conventional wisdom, when it comes to looking at me and who I always pick when it comes to women shit, would have me looking towards Liv Morgan. Thing is, number one, Liv character wise is not in a position to be going after a championship. All right. Number two, I think she's going to be the Iron Woman. Liv has already said she wants to win from number one. I honestly think she's going to get in there at number one, if not number two, and then go for 45, 50 minutes in the Rumble. And that's going to be it. And she'll probably be eliminated within the last final four or final three. Which takes me to Becky. I think what they're planning on doing, and this actually is going to take somebody else out, is leaning towards going Becky versus Bayley for WrestleMania. That is a match that they really have not done. It's not something that they've done to death and all kinds of other stuff like that. So you can, as much as they're trying to push this junk right this second, who's to say that this thing couldn't actually end the thing in their actual feud at Mania? So I think the two of them are going to cross paths in the Royal Rumble, but I don't think they're going to, like I said, I don't think either one of them is actually going to win. I'm going to throw a name out there that hasn't been mentioned, and she hasn't been thought of. Like, she's like out of people's minds for a minute. Asuka.
That's why it hit me.
I am waiting.
But I don't think it's going to be Asuka.
It's going to be Kana.
That's what I stopped. I was like, bro, it's so perfect.
I'm sitting up here. I am waiting for the music to hit. I am waiting for it to come out there and actually start.
Me, it's going to be real new.
I'm just waiting for her to come out there killing people. I'm waiting for the murder machine to come back. All right.
I think she's going to come in at 30.
The only other person that I could see coming back and having an impact to the point where like it's not one of the people that have already been announced is Naomi, and I don't know what her status is right now.
Well, last I heard was when they gave her an offer, it was a huge raise for what she was getting before she walked out. Now I don't know what they're gonna do because Mercedes and Monet already left, and with Naomi not there, who is their what do we call it? Who gives them that spectacular I'm not eliminated yet kind of Kofi type moment? I don't want to name it Kofi moment, but it's like
Katana.
You know what I'm saying?
Katana.
I mean, Katana did it one time, which was annoying because it's like that's a Naomi thing, and you're gonna give it to her. Why? Because she's
Katana and Io.
Io, I could absolutely see doing it.
I could see Io doing it. Katana is like, it's annoying because of the fact that you're not really anything special. I'm not saying she can't do it. She could do it, but you're wasting on somebody that you're not really going to push that's still in NXT. It has to be somebody on the main roster. You know what I mean? That's what made it so special with Kofi, because Kofi was on the main roster. He was that mid-carder that you wanted to like succeed. So it gave you that, like when he did, he's like, oh yeah, he's still in it. So it gave you hope. If you give it to Katana and be like, bro, she's an NXT, like, okay, that's great, it's cool, but she ain't gonna win it. She's an NXT. That's why it was great when it was Naomi, because Naomi, you knew Naomi could do it because she's so athletic. Naomi was a fan favorite. Like, she had so much going for her. Katana's not like a household name. She's an NXT name. But if you ask any regular fan from the main roster, they're like, who the heck is that? Oh, that's the American Ninja chick? That's what that is? Oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But if Io does it, Io's known. You know Io. So I can see Io doing it. But again, is Naomi going to be a surprise return?
I said nobody really knows right now. I think the one question is, if you want to actually bring up the Katana thing, is how many 13-year-old boys are they going to have watching it? Because that's literally going to determine it.
I mean, she looks like a 13-year-old boy.
Exactly. I'm not saying like, you know, she looks like a 13-year-old, but she looks like a 13-year-old. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I think
But
the Kano one is big. I think
yeah,
the Kano, especially because that's the last thing she tweeted before like her Twitter just went ghost.
yeah, she went dark.
She went dark OD. So I think that's what that's gonna be.
Mm. All right. Last but not least, moving on to the men's Royal Rumble match. The one with the most intrigue. Jay, I'm starting with you. Where you going?
I just feel like it has to be Cody. Like it just has to be Cody. Like if it's anybody else, to me, it's a slight disappointment. I get the Sammy hype. I get the story. I get it. Trust me, guys. I get it. But I'm sorry. I've been all in on Cody since last year's WrestleMania when he came back. I don't think because he had a pectoral injury that should disqualify him for the guy who's hot at the moment. Like, I just, as much as like the diehard fans want Sammy to be the face of the company, you have to look at it from a logistical standpoint. Is Sammy a top of the card, face of the company guy? I think he can be. I think he's never been more popular, but also the New Day was popular for a long time before they got a singles push. You know, they've been popular. The most popular act usually is not the guy at the top of the card. Like, Undertaker was a popular act for God knows how long and held the title, what, twice? 3 times, maybe? Just because you're popular, just because you're the guy who sells the most merch and you get the most fanfare does not justify you being world champion. It doesn't. And do I believe Sammy can be world champion? Yes, I do. Do I believe that they believe that Sammy can be world champion? No, I don't. So to me, the only answer is Cody.
No backup. Number 2.
Fuck. I mean, I guess the only other story that is just there for the taking would be Seth Rollins. Like, that's the only other story that I can look at where I'm just like, you really want to screw up Roman's psyche? You really want to implode the bloodline? Let Seth win. Because Seth already threw a couple of warning shots where he's like, don't think I forgot, bro. I'm still going to come for you. Just understand when I come for you, it's your ass because you can't beat me. And they can just keep that going. Like, you know it's your ass because you can't beat me.
I mean, he's the only one with a blemish on Roman's record.
Yeah, like him and Xavier Woods are like the only 2 people where you can look at and be like, you ain't beat him. Just saying, you ain't beat him.
Shit, Xavier Woods did beat Roman, didn't he?
Yep, that was the last person to pin Roman was Xavier Woods.
Paul,
that's
who
what
you
people
got?
forget. The last person to pin Roman is Xavier Woods.
Mm-hmm. Jay literally took my 2 picks.
Cody's
literally the only 2 options. Second one. I mean, like, who else are you gonna throw in there? To be honest, Cody Rhodes.
There's nobody returning that's a big enough name for me to be like, oh, that guy.
No, I mean there isn't. You can throw in the name Drew McIntyre, but that storyline's passed already.
Yeah,
you can throw.
They missed their shot with that.
Yeah, he had his moments and it's like that, and that's cool. You can throw in if you want to be funny, Baron Corbin. No. You can throw Bobby Lashley, but we all know Bobby Lashley's got a train wreck going with Brock Lesnar for Royal Rumble, which is gonna be interesting because Brock Lesnar likes to either open the card or close the card. So if
there's no match. There's no match. Brock attacked because I know you just came back. Brock attacked Lashley tonight, and he's entering in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
but there's no one-on-one match going on there. That's gonna lead to Mania.
That's what I'm saying. But
which
saying like Brock he likes to either
a long time
close the show. If he's not closing it, he's like, I want to be out quick, so I'm opening. So he'll probably open either one of the 2 nights in Mania, which I'll lean to say second night because you want the crowd to get there early. So what do? You have to open it with Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing was the whole match that I had saw for Mania that was listed with Brock was Brock versus Gunther or Walter or whatever the fuck we're calling him now. It just
No.
doesn't fit now. Like it doesn't make sense at
No,
this
it doesn't.
point.
because the way
The-
they always do Brock,
Well,
he's not
that
gonna
and the
sell the
fact that
slaps.
the biggest match you can put on for Gunther, honestly, is the third match with Sheamus, where you have Sheamus finally go over and get that title that he's never. I don't think he's had.
No,
If you do
he
that,
has. That's the only one he hasn't won besides Universal.
yeah.
You
If
kind of
he's-
got
he's
to
the-
at this point.
Gunther has what the U.S.
The
title?
I see.
Intercontinental? No, he has that because he has the original Triple Crown. That includes the IC. I think it's the United States he didn't win.
Nah, Sheamus
No,
been
he's had-
United
yes.
States champion a bunch of times. The IC title's the one that he hasn't had.
Yeah, because that's him and John that's the two titles that him and John don't have. That's why he doesn't have
Mhm.
the Triple Crown.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
see
the Grand
anybody else.
Slam. I don't think he is a Grand Slam champion.
I thought he was.
I thought he was too, but I'm almost sure he's not.
Yeah, he's never won that title. He's held. All right, his Grand Slam is the WWE title, the World title, and the two tag title, and the tag titles in the US title.
Okay.
That's Sheamus's Grand Slam. Like, the IC title is the only one he hasn't had because he's held both tag titles as well, Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, he's held WWE champion.
The only one he doesn't have is the
He's never won the Universal.
and the IC title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that man going to the Hall of Fame. I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, easy first
Oh,
battle.
yeah. That's definitely
Mhm.
you can't disagree with it. I'm sorry. That man's going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't see anybody else. I mean, you know what you could do, Sheamus,
And
Gunther.
he would be the first, according to him, ultimate Grand Slam champion.
Yeah. So I mean, it's Cody and Seth at second option. I don't know if there's anybody else, to be honest. Benny,
All right. So
Mr. Chaos.
this legitimately all depends on whether Sammy is in the Rumble or not. I don't think Sammy is going to win it, even if he is. Right? Conventional, like what everybody wants right now is for Sami Zayn to win the Royal Rumble, but the ultimate heel move for Roman to do is to be like, you're not going out there. What you're going to do, your test, is to make sure that one of us wins. Because you remember when Seth Rollins had his group or whatever with Buddy Murphy and AOP and all of them, they all came out together. He came out at number 30 and they just started clearing house. Like they ultimately got his ass eliminated or whatever, but that's kind of sort of like you can do that shit. The Royal Rumble ain't got no rules in it.
True.
So I think that kind of sort of I think that's where they're gonna put him in order, like I said, to get ultimate heat on Roman. Be like, all right, listen, I don't want you in this match, but you gotta help one of us. If you are really family, this is how you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, number one pick, obviously, Cody Rhodes. All right, it was said the first night the first Raw he came back. All right, I'm doing this. I came back to win the WWE Championship. That was the belt my father couldn't win. Yada yada yada. All of that stuff. He has the John Cena injury, the John Cena return, outside of the fact that it's been pre-announced. So in this case, it's probably the Triple H return. So the trajectory with him is leading him towards winning the Royal Rumble and heading to WrestleMania. Before I give the next pick, I don't think Cody wins at WrestleMania. Like I said with Roman, I honestly think that they're going to try and hit that 1,000 day thing. And as much as I want them to split them titles up, like if in fact they're going to go to that Rock match, I don't think there's any way in hell they have that match on first. And I don't think there's any way in hell they have Roman lose before then.
Yeah. Well,
They got to have him going in, like completely like runaway freight train type shit.
Wait, hold on. So, which is the belt that's almost 1,000 days?
Universal.
Universal.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Cody would go for the heavyweight.
No, I got you. But what I'm saying is, I don't think like if they decided that they were going to split the belts up or whatever, because they want to. But if they decided like pre WrestleMania, we're going to split these belts up. You know, we're going to have one match on night one match on night two, and that's how we're going to do it, or whatever. I still don't think that they're going to put the Universal title on first. I think they have to put that on Sunday.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, so that's what I'm saying. So what you can do is you can have Cody have his WrestleMania moment night one and wins the title to close the first night. The second night, you have it where Roman closes out, retaining the belt. And the whole story behind it is, even though he lost after a brutal match the night before against Cody, he was able to what's the word I'm looking for? Pull or get some kind of internal strength and beat The Rock to maintain the Universal title. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I'm just saying I don't think that they would ever do that. I don't think they would ever do that. I think they would have to have Roman go in there without a shadow of a doubt, because with him losing, it weakens him going into the match with The Rock. If they're going to do that match,
right? But at that point, you're like, oh, snap! He lost on night one. Does he lose again tonight? Like it goes more, because here's the thing: if Roman wins his first night, it's like, okay, there's no way he's going to lose to The Rock. He already beat Cody. But if you have him lose the night before, you'd be like, oh crap! Like, he lost one title already. Is he going to lose both of them? Like, he is not invincible. Like,
here's the thing, though.
And then
anybody who looks at this situation absolutely knows that The Rock is not winning that championship.
Right, but I'm saying storyline. So the storyline you go like, oh, he already lost one title. Now not only is he have the Universal title line, but also the head of the table. He has a lot more at stake, and he already lost. Like, how is his psyche, because he has not, quote unquote, lost or been pinned for so long, and he's been pinned and he lost one title. Can The Rock not only take the title away from him, but take the tribal chief title away from him, take all of this, and literally storyline wise, kayfabe wise, going into night two, Roman Reigns has a lot more to lose than just the belt. You know what I mean?
That would technically be the same thing if he wins on night one too. But I don't think that there's any way they have him lose going into that match. Not in a traditional way. Like I said, the only other way is if you run in there and you have a triple threat and you have a ladder match, unless he's not involved in the fall whatsoever.
Right, but that's the thing though. Is if you have him fight Cody night one for the heavyweight, and he retains, literally, one, you missed the bus on giving Cody his WrestleMania moment. The whole storyline behind it, you miss on that.
Not necessarily. He's a baby face.
Huh?
No,
I said not necessarily. He's a baby face.
So what? That's the thing. There's no replacement, because if you play this the way you played it, then you run into the Drew situation.
Drew was a very unique situation.
Yeah,
I mean Drew in the sense of like no one's going to care.
I think you still get people caring just because of the fact that Cody hasn't been there.
It doesn't matter, because again, if you make him lose and you derail where he's going right now, you kill any luster you have on him right now.
Yeah. So him winning that belt for his final stuff, you like, if you think you add on more to it, okay. If not at Mania, then when? SummerSlam is not the same.
Nope.
There's
no other show.
Well, the thing is, nothing's going to be the same.
Right.
But nothing's going to be the same. But the problem is, unless you're going to sit up here and legitimately tell me that they're not going to do the back-to-back matches and that match has to be for both titles, there's no way they're taking that belt off him and having him pin Roman.
Well,
It
that's what I'm
has
saying
to be
though.
some other way.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like if okay, so put it this way, if you like you said, if Roman goes in and he beats Cody, literally, what's the point of watching him fight Rock if you already know he beat Cody, he's gonna beat The Rock?
To be completely honest with you, what's the point of the match with The Rock anyway? It's just a spectacle thing. Like I said, anybody who knows that The Rock is not winning that match. That's why I was saying before, if they were planning on doing that match, there was no reason for them to put the title in it, because
Right.
that automatically makes it a complete formality.
Right, but I'm saying though, if you go in with Roman already beating Cody, yeah, that's a formality. Roman's going to beat The Rock. But if you have Roman literally dropping the title, losing to Cody cleanly, you're like, holy shit! Not only do you give Cody his moment, not only does Cody have that established already, you pay it off, but now you're like, damn, Roman lost. Is he even going to beat The Rock? Can The Rock beat him? Like The Rock's been gone for a while, but he lost to Cody. How is he mentally? Like he's supposed to be this, but like you have to have a moment where not only are you showing Cody like winning all the stuff, but like remember that well, I forgot, I think it was Becky. Like Becky played it perfectly when she lost. Like she was like she had like almost like a mental breakdown. Like what the hell just happened? If you have that with Roman at the end of night one, going into night two, he's already seeing like mentally like shook. So now it's like you're going in. Okay, so it's not 100% guaranteed he's going to beat The Rock, even though we know he should. But storyline kayfabe, like you're already seeing some kind of cracks. You can still pay it off. That now it's like okay, not only is like I said, not only is the title on the line, the tribal chief, and everything he gained is on the line. So now on night two, he has a lot more to lose than he did on night one, which makes that one much bigger. You're trying to elevate the Rock and Roman match, even though we already know Roman's going to win that, you're trying to put more at stake into that match than what there is. Because if you go in and he wins the night before and retains, what's the point of watching it? To be honest, you know what I mean. If you already know he's going to win it,
This is why I don't want the match to begin with. This is why I don't want the match to begin with.
I know.
But everybody seems to be sitting up there throwing the balls at the wall, talking about, yeah, this is it. This is what we need to do. No, stop it. Anybody like the problem, like the biggest issue with this thing is the Universal Championship.
Right.
If we're just talking about the WWE title, it's not an issue. But it's the Universal Championship that's the problem.
But
if somebody takes the belt off of Roman in a traditional sense, pinfall, submission, pass out, anything like that, right? If somebody takes the belt off of him losing the Universal title when he does loses its luster because he will have already been beaten.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He'll lose the WWE heavyweight and you split them, but he maintains that the Universal and you.
That's what I said. But at that point, even if he reaches 1,000 days, it's just like, all right, well, somebody already beat you though.
But
you see what I'm saying? Him having both of those titles is a detriment right now. But nobody seems to nobody in that company seems to understand that.
We said from the jump it was a bad idea. If you weren't going to unify the belts and make them into one, have them together like the way they were was an issue. We said that from the jump. We all said that. I think we all agreed about it. It was an issue like this, and this is what they put themselves in.
And we said it as soon as Cody came back. We were like,
I'm just saying this is the only way I see that they could get the belts off of him. I'm not disagreeing that him losing the WWE heavyweight takes a little off of him, but I mean, you like you said, you have like what, another month and a half or two before
he has until May,
right? So that's like
in the end of May at that.
So like a month and a half or two before he reaches 1,000 months. So I think you have SummerSlam in there, or SummerSlam.
No, SummerSlam's in August.
Shit, I forgot. Damn, they pushed it to August.
There is another one. There's like, if you want to do it at Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank is in London.
Yeah, but I mean, I was looking more at one of the big ones, and I forgot that they moved SummerSlam to August now. But
there is no big one after WrestleMania. The big one after WrestleMania is Money in the Bank, which is in June, I think.
No, the big four: Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and what was the fourth one?
Damn, Paul, it's the Royal Rumble.
Royal
Yeah, it's
Rumble, yeah.
Royal Rumble. So that's what I'm like. There's no other time. That's why they said it's a big five now. It's not a big four.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, the original Big
But yeah,
Four.
I said that's the biggest thing right after that, and then there's SummerSlam right after, Money in the Bank. But I said if you want to say a big event after that, because of where it is, London is the one.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a really really rough situation. Honestly, The Rock being in it at all screws it up completely, which is why I'm hoping that he is not involved in this shit. I'm hoping what you end up with is a situation where Adam Pearce grows a set and tells Roman that the winner of the Royal Rumble gets a shot at one of his championships. The winner of the Elimination Chamber gets a shot at the other one. That is
Right.
how I'm hoping this thing goes down.
And I don't
And
disagree
then,
with that
and
theory.
and then you could set it up where you can kind of put it into the situation where Cody wins the Royal Rumble, somebody, Sami Zayn, wins the Elimination Chamber, and they put the Universal title match on first. That right there is the only clean way I can see this and keeping both titles on him.
I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter if he's going to retain both of the titles. Which one goes on night one, night two? To be honest,
No, what I'm saying is in the situation with The Rock, you have to have Roman win the night one.
no,
That's just how I'm looking at it.
necessarily.
If The Rock is in the situation, you got to have him win.
No, he's gonna beat The Rock, but that's
No,
what
I
I'm
mean
saying.
night one. You
No,
have to have him win if The Rock is involved, because him
right.
coming off of a loss against The Rock and then going to The Rock, like I said, it screws the matchup.
I don't think we're disagreeing. He's gonna lose about him beating The Rock. I think it's more of like I said, like how do you want to do this? Because if he goes with Cody, obviously Cody has to win. Like me and Jay say, you have to pay that off. Like Mania is the moment to pay it off. If you miss that boat to pay it off, it's not going to be the same. It's going to lose the luster it has. It's not going to get. It'll get a pop, but it won't get the pop that it will get at Mania.
Which one, in the grand scheme of things, which one, for the people who have been paying attention to the product, means more? Cody winning the championship at Mania, or somebody dethroning Roman Reigns for the Universal title?
Cody winning the championship at Mania.
Yeah.
I do not agree with you.
Because of how big of a deal they made it when Cody came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cody being the guy who left and started his own company. Like, that is not just wrestling fan knowledge. Like, that is general knowledge. And then on top of that, you have the Rhodes last name. So you have that
legacy.
I don't fucking even know how long that's like long-term booking at its finest. It's been like fucking 30, 35 years, 40 years. I don't know. It's literally been that long. And then on top of that, you have it where it's special to wrestling fans because of Dusty and all Dusty gave to the industry. Now, the people who don't pay attention to the product probably won't care that Roman's had the title for 800 and something days because they don't know that he's had the title for 800 something days. So what?
What I'm saying is that this is a story that has been going on in WWE for over 2.5 years.
Right.
That is the Roman story, the head of the table story.
And it started with
that
the Universal title.
Ends with the Universal title being taken off of him.
Right.
That is literally the biggest story in wrestling.
Right. But that's what we're saying, though.
But that's the Universal title being taken off him.
Yeah.
I know. What I'm saying is having someone pin Roman. I don't care if Cody wins the title in a ladder match. That's perfectly fine. I don't care if he wins it in a triple threat match, pinning the other person. That's perfectly fine. What I'm saying is I cannot see him pinning Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the WWE title.
Right. And this is the thing that I'm trying to say is that you have to add some kind of chink in the armor, some kind of hope that
Yeah,
he's
you
gonna
can't have
lose.
him going in as this unstoppable force
Yeah, it's
because
cause,
they're already starting to show chinks in the armor. They're already
right.
starting to show that he's losing it a little bit.
It's kind of
They're
like Brock.
already doing that. So it's
It's
like to keep him in this unbeat and if you look at all his matches aren't necessarily dominant matches. They haven't been for the last year. He's been literally winning by the skin of his teeth in every match. So it's
yeah.
not like it's a situation where he's just been that dominant. Because I think what the last title match he had was Solo helped him. So it's not like he hasn't already cheated. It's not like he hasn't already been in trouble. That's what I'm saying. The whole chink in the arm, the whole him needing to be this larger than life, holier than thou thing. That was maybe a year ago when it was supposed to happen. Now it's a very different Roman. It's the guy who's been at the top of the mountain for so long that now he's starting to get paranoid. Now he's showing that his game can slip. So for him to lose at WrestleMania actually would make sense.
Mhm.
But it would have to be something where he set this whole elaborate plan up and it backfires. And it's like, oh shit, okay. He's not as invulnerable as he seems. So then he starts to go crazy. And then he starts to push away the bloodline. And the bloodline slowly deteriorates around him to where it's just him. He doesn't have help. And then he loses the Universal title. That actually makes way more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Like I
But the
said,
thing is,
once he gets pinned, for me, it's over.
but see, here's the thing. It's like, okay, what's the one thing we hated when Brock had the title besides him being a part timer? He's not gonna lose, right? He don't lose.
Nah, it's the
That's
fact for me. It's the fact he ain't there. Oh, yeah,
well,
damn,
that's,
he's
that's what I'm
winning.
Well,
saying. Besides the
if
fact
you're
he's
gonna
a
use
part
that, you can
timer,
use the same logic with Roman because
Yeah,
Roman isn't there as much as
he's
we think
not.
he is. It's just he's
what I'm
never on
getting at,
Raw.
is that when you have somebody, if it's a face, that's fine. But when it's a heel and he's just not losing and he's been on this streak for so long, you need a loss. But because he has two titles, you can have him pin, you can have him take a loss. And that's what I'm trying to say is like you can have him lose. So that loss to Cody pays off not just with the Cody storyline, but it pays off in the Roman storyline. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I
it's a
I
double
think a
win.
straight up loss hurts the storyline for Roman too much.
I don't necessarily think it does. I think it adds more to it. Like I said, it adds into going into the night two. Like I was saying, he lost. Okay, night one, damn, he lost to Cody. Yo, can he lose to the Rock? And like I said, there's more at stake with the Rock because it's the Universal title. It's the head of the table stuff. It's all that. So yeah, he lost to Cody. He lost, but all he did was lose the WWE title. That was it. He didn't lose the head of the table. He didn't lose the Universal title. It
That's
was
just
it was like his secondary name
I
belt.
think it diminishes him losing the Universal title whenever he does it.
No, I think it'll have you at the edge of your seat of is he gonna lose it this today? Because he already lost. So he
Not
can
to
lose this
mention it
belt.
gives it now. It's like every time he defends the Universal title, like yo, is he really gonna lose it now?
Yeah, it adds more to
It
it. It
gives
now
him that fear factor, but then it also gives fans the idea of like, well, he can be beaten. We've
yeah,
seen a guy do it. He can
right.
be beaten.
So you can like that was the thing, like the whole thing with the bloodline and all the storyline is like, okay, how far can you carry it? And this is another way to add to it because now you're adding because he's keeping the universal title, so you're gonna extend that storyline with him with the belt to reach the 1,000 days mark. You know what I mean? And you could surpass it. You can even have him keep it for another year because you're already going like he lost one title already, so he can be beaten. So who is it going to be? So you can have all these other people come in. You can have Braun come in, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that he already lost one title, that he can be beaten. He's not unstoppable. And like Jay said, you can have him go through this whole paranoia push away the bloodline. So now he doesn't have any help. So now he has to do it on his own. So you add more to the story. Like I get what you're saying, Benny. I get what you're saying, but we're getting to a point with the storyline where it's like, okay, where else we're gonna go? Because you have the bloodline. The bloodline's been helping you win and this and that. So how far? Like you're like literally unstoppable, not because of yourself, but because of your faction. How far can we go? Like before it gets stale. And the only way to like re-inject it is if he loses. But agreeing with you, he needs to keep the universal to get that 1,000 mark. So the only way to revitalize it, he drops the heavyweight title, which he needs to do it because there was no point of him getting that. He
And that
drops
was
to
never
Cody.
that wasn't
Cody gets his
his
moment.
title per se. Like that was the one that got hot shotted to Brock, and the point of him winning it was just to beat Brock anyway. It was never about that title. That title was more or less meaningless. It was about beating Brock.
Yeah.
So like that
Like I
title
said, on that note, like I said, on that note, I agree with you. The WWE title again is not needed in this thing. My problem is the fact that Roman does not need to have his shoulders on the mat being beaten by anyone else until somebody takes the Universal title off of him.
But see, here's the
That
thing.
needs to be the moment that somebody is crowned. And by crowned, I mean that's when the demon is conquered.
But see,
The demon does not need to be beaten before then. This dude has been running roughshod, regardless of how it's actually being done. He's a heel. That's how shit works with them.
right.
You know, cheating all fucking time, having help, all that other stuff. All I'm saying is that if you put Cody in this match and you have him win the title, it needs to be in some type of a stipulation where Roman is not pinned or submitted or held. Like, what was it? The only other way I can see is they do like a last man standing match and ended the way they did it with The Rock and Mankind.
But here's my problem with that is what's to say then they go like, oh, I want to rematch for the title, and then now that title is hot potato, and now that the title is devalued because it was literally hot potato, a la
The
Zack Ryder.
WWE title?
Yeah, a la
They
Zack
can do that
Ryder
anyway.
title.
They could literally do that anyway.
Yeah, but it literally like, and here's the thing: the WWE heavyweight is supposed to be above the Universal. You know what I mean?
Not in their eyes.
It's not, but it's supposed to be. But you're literally degrading the WWE heavyweight title. So now it's like, okay, now
They've been doing that.
I know, but if you want to split them, you can't degrade it. You can't degrade the titles. They have to be close to being level. The only way to do that is if you have him drop it, because if you have him lose in a ladder match, and again, like I said, was to say he doesn't come back like I want a title match because I didn't get pinned. You didn't beat me. You beat somebody else. If you really won that title, you should have beat me. And then obviously he's gonna either he loses that match or he wins that match. That rematch.
Or he just doesn't give a shit like Roman Reigns does. I mean, he's already put it out there to Drew before they faced off in Survivor Series. That's a secondary title. Shit came out of his mouth.
If it's a secondary title, he should have dropped it then.
He should have never had it. We've already had that discussion.
I know, but
yeah,
that's
but
the
it still
thing.
it feels like you're still trying to protect him at this point. And it's like
Roman,
you can't. That's the thing.
No, I'm not protecting
We're
Roman.
at
I'm
that point
protecting
now
the
where you
streak.
can't protect him anymore.
No, and
I'm protecting the streak.
No, but to protect the streak, you have to protect him. The streak and him are together.
It's the streak, it's him, and it's whoever beats him.
And that's what I'm saying, though. The only way around it is if like he drops it on night one, and you add that, like we were saying, like you add, like you already see, like Jay said, you've seen the chinks here and there.
Yeah,
and you start seeing it.
You got to do it the other way around. You cannot have him lose night one. You have to have him lose night two, because then, how much does it take out of the person he beats on night two? Take The Rock out of it for a second, because The Rock can't be hurt.
Okay, put it this way: doesn't matter who it is. But going into night two, you're going into, all right, he already lost the title night one. Is he going to lose a Universal, which he's had for almost 1,000 days? What's the bigger story?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, say for example, now you kill Cody's push, you have him keep the titles. What next? You can't do it.
Who says we're killing Cody's push?
You have him lose at WrestleMania. His
I
push is
had that. Nobody said Roman win clean. The dude could have get jumped by the entire
doesn't matter if he
bloodline.
wins
It
clean
don't
or
matter.
dirty. If you have him lose, you kill his push.
If Cody does not win that title, you kill his push. That's what we're trying
If
to
that's
say.
the case, then Cody doesn't need to be in the match.
So you have him lose at Royal Rumble?
That's pretty much what I'm saying. If that's the case,
So then who?
Then
who
what
do
was
you
the
get
point bringing him
Royal
back?
Rumble?
then you got to extend it. You got too much other stuff going on right now.
I'm sorry. I think that at this point, then you're putting too much hype behind the bloodline thing. Honestly,
They are literally the biggest story in wrestling.
We're not disagreeing with you. We're not. But the thing is,
but
like,
again, you're doing what Brock did for 3 years. You're
All right, put it
killing
this way.
everybody else for the
Put it-
sake of this storyline.
all right, put it this way.
Everybody else has literally already been killed.
All right,
That's
We've
the
already
point.
we're
The person
recycling
hasn't
stuff
been
as it
killed
is
Cody.
with Kevin
Okay.
Owens.
real quick. Before Sami Zayn got involved, how was the bloodline storyline going?
The thing is, you're talking about adding somebody to the storyline right now with Sami Zayn.
Right.
Now the story's changed.
But I'm saying though, before Sami was added to that storyline with the bloodline, they were going stale, right?
Obviously, yeah. The thing should have it should have been done a long time ago.
Right. And
It honestly should have been done with Drew.
Here's the funny thing: Sami was only be a 1 month storyline. That's it. But because it got so much fanfare, and fans were loving it, eating it up, they extended it. It literally brought new life into the bloodline because they were going stale. Like I love the bloodline, but it was going stale. Sami added rejuvenized it. And in order to keep it going, you have to mix things up. You can have now this is going to end somehow, some point. But then, like Jay said, is you have to have it where Roman literally starts dissing himself off from the bloodline, and you have a sit down with the elders. They couldn't make the Monday Night Raw 30, but he has to have a sit down with the elders or whatever it is. So you extend the storyline even further. You know what I mean? Because the last thing you need is like what happened to NWO. The storyline got so stale, people stopped watching. You have to find ways to rejuvenate it, and the best way to do it is for him to lose the WWE heavyweight title, because now it's like, oh, he can be beaten. And like we were saying, it's like
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think you kill whoever wins the Universal Championship from him.
No,
I think you're devaluing that.
No, you don't.
At that point, you devaluing the Universal title puts them on even footing.
You elevate.
You're
the
not going
person.
to kill it that much.
You elevate that belt, and you elevate the person that beats him for the Universal.
How do you elevate the Universal title by having the Universal Champion lose?
No. The WWE Heavyweight Champion lost. That's the thing.
He literally just did this with Sami. He just did this with Sami. He just did the whole that wasn't me, that was you. This wasn't me. He can literally spin it. It was like, the Universal Champion didn't lose. I'm still undefeated as a Universal Champion. The WWE Champion lost.
I think that would literally kill his character.
No, it won't.
I think that attitude specifically would kill his character.
Or like you said, the WWE, man, that was a secondary belt. I've been meaning to lose that a long time, but I just didn't want to. So I just, I felt bad for Cody and his dad, so I just let him win. You know what I'm saying? This is the one that really matters. This belt right here, the one I've had for almost 1,000 days, the one that this is whatever. This is the belt, the Universal. Because why? Because it's universal. That one's just a heavyweight, the WWE heavyweight. This is a Universal. This is the one that matters. And then the thing too is you got to remember, like I was saying, it elevates the belt more, but it elevates the person who does finally pin him and beat him for that belt, because at this point now you're waiting to see who beats him for that belt.
We've been on that kick for 2 years, man.
Right. But the thing is, it's gotten stale because you're like, oh, he's always going to win. Like, we're always like, okay, how's he going to finish off? We know he's going to win, but how is he going to finish off? But now, if he loses the heavyweight title, you're like, yo, he can't be beaten. He lost already. Who's going to beat him? Is it going to be his person? Is it going to be this person? So by the time we get to maybe 6 months, you're still on that train. Who's going to beat him? You can have those close calls and be like, oh snap, Roman almost lost. Yo, and he can, like, I know me and Jay had discussion. but now he can eat finishers and he can kick out of them because you're literally there. Like, oh, he just took it. He took 3 F5s. Holy shit, he's gonna lose. It's over. He kicks out. You know what I mean?
He's already doing that though.
But I'm saying I use the F5 as an example. I'm saying for other wrestlers.
No, I mean for other wrestlers too. He's already doing.
Whose finishes he eating?
He's already kicked out. Everybody either kicked out of Claymore. He kicked out of Logan Paul's finisher because that was the last one.
I don't count Logan Paul. Logan Paul.
He didn't kick that. Every single person he faces, he's kicked out of their finisher.
Logan Paul doesn't have a finisher, bro. Logan Paul's a blown knee. That's what he has.
Unless you count that flying elbow as a finisher.
Nah, didn't he do the frog splash to him or something?
Yeah, you count that as his finisher.
Eddie Guerrero.
I believe that's his finisher.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know, but
again, that was another one of them formality matches, especially because it was over in Saudi Arabia. But
right
again,
so
like I said, the biggest thing for me, like if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do this mess, all right, say for argument's sake, Cody has to win at WrestleMania. Again, that cannot happen if The Rock is there. Like I said, to me, he has to go in full steam with The Rock. He cannot go on a loss. If Cody was to win at WrestleMania, you have to have the Universal title match first if you're not going to put both belts on the line in that one match.
But see, the problem with that, now you're putting the WWE Heavyweight title over the Universal title.
Not necessarily. Doesn't the Royal Rumble winner get a choice of what title they go after?
They do, but if you're saying the Universal closes out night 1 and the WWE Heavyweight closes out night 2 closer belt is literally the one you want the most eyes on because that ends.
If the Royal Rumble winner says, "I want to be in the final match of WrestleMania on night 2 for the WWE Championship,"
the winner.
If they come again, this is WWE. They can literally spin this whatever way they want to. The Royal Rumble winner is going to close out WrestleMania. That's it. That's all I got to say. And that literally just kills everything.
They're not going to do that because they've always said the winner gets the choice of which belt. They're not going to change it.
They honestly, like I said, they make up shit whatever way they want to.
I know they do, but I think for the way they're going, I don't think they're gonna do anything like that to like kind of show their hand. You know what I mean? Because if you do that, if you have Cody win it and you have Cody say, "I want to challenge for the WWE Heavyweight title on night 2," then it's like either okay, Cody wins it, close out the show on a high note. It's like no. That's what I'm saying for dramatics, for dramatic purposes, to keep people on the edge. Like you have Cody win, you give Cody his moment, and then like you have it where you're going into night 2. Roman has a match on night 2, and you're like, holy shit, he lost night 1. He lost 1 belt. Could he literally come into WrestleMania with 2 belts and leave with no belts? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
I know you don't like it, but I'm just
saying.
I'm
not with that.
It's the dramatics. It's the drama. It's.
Like, I honestly think, from a drama standpoint, that doesn't work because you literally deteriorate my interest in the next match. Because at that point, I'm like, dude, you've already lost, right? Now I've already seen you lose.
Right.
Now I don't give a shit when you lose again.
But if I seen you win night 1, I don't want to see you win again on night 2. You're unstoppable.
But he's a heel. That's the whole point of a heel. You want that heel to lose, right? I know I don't want you to win again on night 2 if I've already seen you win on night 1. So from that point, you're just like, yo, I want this dude to get his ass kicked.
That yes and no, because you gotta remember he's been winning for so long. Like I said, like I'm not disagreeing with you, but that's what I'm saying. I'm spinning it where it's like, okay, he lost 1 belt, he went into Mania with 2 belts.
This is literally just going to turn into the NFL all season. Like you're going to piss somebody off with however they do this.
You can't please all wrestling fans. You see that shit right now. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is like the best way. And granted, this is a completely biased point of view. I'm not trying to sit up here and change anybody's mind with this, right? The way I'm putting it is if you were going to have him lose and still keep the universal title as that quote unquote top title, say you have him get beat with his shoulders down on the mat, like I don't want him to get beat. You have to have him go into that match weaker than he was at the start. Meaning he had to have gone through a match on night one already and then go on night two. Not at 100%. Somebody got to beat his ass and he barely make it out by the skin of his teeth.
And that's the same scenario you go into with night 2 with the Universal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but you're doing it the other way around. If you're doing it like that and you're saying to have him win after he done already got like destroyed and beat, that I'm looking at it like, yeah, this is fucking stupid.
No. It's one of those where like
honestly, the whole idea of the Rock thing is stupid. That's what's
I know,
really screwing this up.
And that's the biggest problem in all of this. Is the idea that The Rock is going to be a part of it. And you're talking about somebody who is one of the biggest Rock fans in history. This is one reason why I literally stayed involved in wrestling. Was him. He does not need to be around. He does not need to be involved in this. He does not need to be in a title match. They should have pulled the trigger back with Drew McIntyre, gotten the belt off of him, and then had him do the Rock feud at this WrestleMania at some point. All right? That way, you actually have a legitimate shot for The Rock to win that match.
Well, remember, it was supposed to be 2 years ago, but the pandemic
it was supposed to be 2 years ago, but COVID happened.
Technically, it was supposed to be last year.
Last year,
No.
You're right. It was supposed to be last year.
It was supposed to be last year.
It was supposed to be
last year was supposed to be LA. Now it's LA now because they moved everything back. Because Tampa was supposed to be 36. 36 ended up being in the Performance Center. And then they moved 37 to Tampa. They were going to skip Dallas and go to LA for 38. But then they were like, no, fuck that. We're going to put Dallas at 38 and then LA at 39. So this should have happened last year. But, COVID happened. And then COVID caused, some other shit that I'm still pissed off about. Which is honestly what I wanted to get into. One of the people that I was actually saying beforehand that I was going to bring up as far as my Royal Rumble winner. My second, because we've been talking about this Roman Reigns shit for like 45 minutes. So, again, just to reiterate, my pick is Cody Rhodes being number 1. All right. Number 2, let's go through a bunch of different names real quick. Right?
Yeah, no, real quick. Yeah, no. It was supposed to happen with COVID. I'm saying right here, COVID. The original location of WrestleMania 37 before the COVID pandemic happened was LA.
37 was supposed to be LA?
Yeah.
All right, so what happened was then they added Dallas in there because Dallas wasn't supposed to be 38.
No.
Or rather, it was supposed to be Tampa and then LA.
No, Dallas was originally 38. LA was 37. But because the pandemic happened, they couldn't go to LA.
They used Tampa for 37, and they didn't want to take it away from LA. So they didn't push everything back. They just swapped one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, still stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's when The Rock was that was when the feud with The Rock was supposed to happen. Was in 37. So it should have been a lot earlier than it was supposed to be. That's what I'm saying. Like if it happened when it was supposed to happen, we wouldn't be in a situation. We'd be talking about.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. But like I said, they're determined to do this match, regardless of whether they do this in ring shape, in a movie, in hell. It doesn't matter. They want to do this freaking match, and it's getting on everybody's goddamn nerves. But getting to what I was trying to say, like I said, pick one for me is Cody. Threw a couple of names real quick before we get the hell out of here. I think you're going to end up with Austin Theory versus John Cena. So I know John Cena is probably going to be in the Royal Rumble. You're going to get that set up. They name dropped Stone Cold tonight. Rather, the New Day name drop Stone Cold. But I believe he's going to be in there too. It's Texas. Why not? Right? I've been hearing way too much and about him training way too hard for him to not show up somewhere.
And
Although
apparently,
I'm
they
not.
got a bunch of money at him for Mania.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't be. I'm a little opposed to him getting thrown over the top rope, but at the same time, he did take a suplex on concrete last year. So, I mean, dude is the toughest son of a bitch in WWE for a reason, right? The name that I wanted to bring up, and the reason why I brought up COVID, is because COVID, not even a roundabout way, COVID is the reason why this guy has not been around for a while. On day one last year, Roman Reigns was supposed to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Because Roman Reigns got COVID, Brock Lesnar was added to a fatal four-way, which lost Big E the WWE Championship. After he lost that title, he was put into a feud with Sheamus and Ridge Holland, where he took the over-the-head belly-to-belly suplex that broke his damn neck. I heard his name dropped twice. Once in the IWC, once on SmackDown tonight.
The Timeable doesn't match.
I swear to God, if he shows up,
the Timeable doesn't match because he doesn't get the scans. They do it by the year.
I know.
He doesn't get the scans until March.
I'm just saying if. I ain't gonna lose my damn mind.
If his music hits, I will probably lose it.
I'm going to lose my damn mind if he comes out here in this Rumble. All right. There was another name I forgot that's going to get set up for some shit going on towards WrestleMania, and that's Edge. I know he ain't been around for a while. They're going to do the Judgment Day thing with them.
It's him and Finn.
Yeah, they're going to do the Judgment Day thing with him and Finn. They're going to run that shit back. I'm sure that, like I said, Dom and Ray is going to get set up in this. I'm pretty sure Dom is going to eliminate Ray, and that's going to be, the setup for it, where Ray is just like, all right, you know what? I'm fed up with this shit. And then they're just going to go from there. Literally, I cannot feasibly think of anybody else. So I'm going to throw a name out there that literally makes no goddamn sense. And I'm going to say Sami Zayn.
It makes sense. It's a contingency plan, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But he is my number 2. Like I said, for all intents and purposes, I don't even think he's going to be in the Rumble. I think his point is going to be go out there and help whoever is in the bloodline that is in the Rumble win. And I think he's going to fail. And then that's going to be what causes them to go down whatever line they go down towards Sami Zayn actually either separating himself or being separated from the bloodline. But like I said, that's where we stand right now. Anyway, we've been at it for an hour and a half. It is damn near 2:00 in the morning. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that all three of us need to get to sleep. So, any final words from either of you?
Yeah. That's it.
Awesome. Well,
I'm waiting to see this men's Royal Rumble, see how it ends, because I think the women's, I feel bad because I don't think the women's is going to, on paper right now, it doesn't look good, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a good Rumble match because
there's 7 people announced for this Rumble.
Oh, my final word is I'm hearing that Matt Cardona took out a copyright on the name Zack Ryder. And the rumor has it that Chelsea Green's been signed for a couple of months.
Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp
Matt Cardona has been signed for a couple of months as well.
Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp has really been pushing that. He's been saying that Chelsea Green is in there. He's just, for whatever reason, she won't confirm it or deny it to him. Mm-hmm. She's just being real coy with it. So there's a definite chance that she's going to end up in there. And if she is, then Matt's probably going to be there too.
But I'm wondering if he's going to come back as Matt Cardona or if he's going to come back as Zack Ryder.
I don't know.
It's
WWE, so
that outside of everything else, that's probably like the biggest. Like, okay, are they going to do that? Are they going to bring back Bo Dallas just to throw everybody off?
Well, here's the thing:
hilarious.
If he copyrighted Zack Ryder, I think they'd rather bring him back as Matt Cardona.
Yeah,
because of the fact that they rather split split payment with the Matt Cardona persona than with the Zack Ryder.
Well, here's the question about that: did he copyright Matt Cardona?
I think
That's
he
his
did when he
main-
first got fired.
Yeah, because he got that. He went with that persona when he first got fired. So I think that he owns that completely all around. But the reason why is because they can pull back old Zack Ryder merch. They're not gonna want to do that if it's copyrighted by Matt Cardona. You know what I mean? It's some weird stuff. It's like it's crazy, but it's the way WWE works. They're crazy.
They are.
Yeah, yeah. Because what if you have Matt Cardona, you can literally just hold his sales like slowly here and there. You know what I'm saying. You can mess with the sales. With the Zack Ryder, you could mess with the sales, but because people already own that stuff, they can come in and you can still see it. You know what I mean? You can see it on TV. It's some weird stuff where they like to promote certain wrestlers more than others. So if like they can hold Matt Cardona's sales down to not promote him, they'll do it. But if he goes by Zack Ryder, they can try and hold his sales down. But if like a whole bunch of people already own Zack Ryder t-shirts and memorabilia, they can go in with that. They can't stop that. You know what I mean?
What are the chances? Because honestly, the Zack Ryder thing was happening around the time that I wasn't watching wrestling. What are the chances that his merch is still floating out there like that?
High.
Yeah.
High. Dude was so over that, like, when he won the Intercontinental title in the match, the ladder match, that was the biggest pop of WrestleMania that year. Like, above every other pop. The fact that he lost it the next night was like, everybody was pissed about it.
Yeah.
Like, Zack, if you hear woo, like woo 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 and Mr. Kennedy will probably be the two biggest pops you would hear if either one of those guys came back.
Yeah,
like
I don't disagree at all, and I think they'd rather do them. Like I said, they'd rather do the Matt Cardona than the Zack Ryder. It's crazy as that sounds, but because of how they are with merchandising sales and all that stuff, yeah.
And Triple H always has a soft spot for the hardcore fans, so it would be like a olive branch in a lot of ways. And I also expect some New Japan surprises. I'm not even gonna front.
Oh no, they've I don't know if they've confirmed it or not, but I'm pretty sure the Great Muta is going to be in there because he's on his retirement tour, and they did lend Shinsuke Nakamura over to New Japan for that.
Yeah,
but my thing is he even going to get a reaction?
I think
I'm sure he will.
I think he will, but I don't think it'll be a pop like we expect it to be. You know what I mean?
You can call me a young wrestling fan, or like not a diehard, but I have no idea who the Great Muta is.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like you're gonna get a pop from him, but not as much as you expect it to get. You're gonna get a pop from like the hardcore fans, the ones that know who he is. Like you probably like, oh, okay, cool. Like if we all three of us were there, I'd pop. Benny would probably pop for Muta. You wouldn't, but you'd be like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, okay,
and that's okay. That's expected because you're the youngest one of us. You know what I mean? Like by the time you started watching wrestling, like Muta was back in Japan again.
Yeah.
You know who else is like rumored to be showing up, and I don't know exactly how it's going to work out logistically because of the fact that she's feuding with Mercedes Moné, is Kairi Sane.
That would be weird. That would be
so
weird. Especially if she showed up with the IWGP Women's title.
No,
that would be so.
I mean, there's precedent for it.
There is. That's the.
Do you know who is a free agent right now and would be a nice like one show? What's his name? Jack. The Switchblade.
Jay White.
Jay White.
Jay White. Yeah.
Apparently, according to New Japan, he's still under contract with them.
What? I saw someone who was a free agent.
There are rumors out there that he's a free agent, but according to New Japan, he's still, by the time the Royal Rumble comes around, which today, he's still under contract with them technically.
So again, go back to Japan. Then I wouldn't be surprised if he comes over for just those.
That's why it sucks, because I know that it was supposed to be a quid pro quo because AJ was supposed to show up with Carl Anderson at Wrestle Kingdom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Until
his
he broke his
ankle
ankle.
blew out at a live event.
Yeah,
So
and
like
that sucks.
because
That
AJ was supposed
literally
to
sucks.
return to New Japan. That's why AJ was making those hints, and that's why they took AJ off of TV.
Mm-hmm. The sentimental pick, not pick, but possible showing. I know, like, if Vince McMahon was still behind creative, I don't think there's a chance in hell this actually happens, and I don't mean that as a pun way. Mark Briscoe.
that would be a hell of a what the fuck.
Yeah.
That would be one of those like
That would literally be a forbidden
that
door.
would blow the roof off the joint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would, and let him show up with the tag titles. I don't give a fuck. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if he show up with the tag titles.
I don't care either. But that would literally be a forbidden door. Forget the New Japan forbidden door.
Yeah,
This
like
would be
that is the forbidden door right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be absolute insanity.
Yeah. If he does show up, I don't think they'll let him come up with the belts, which would suck. But just for him,
Especially
being
because
there
Tony
alone,
Khan owns Impact now. Like, I don't know.
I don't know, because Tony Khan had issues just getting him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a TNT thing. Though.
That was a TNT thing though. So
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, yeah, if you want to take him, go ahead for the show, just for Jay, just so as a Jay,
Yeah.
remembrance.
It would be something. It would definitely be something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
like I was saying, the women's Royal Rumble doesn't look promising, but don't be surprised if it's a good one. They always tend to like pull some good surprises there. The men's is going to be interesting to see where things go and how things play out for Mania.
Yo,
they do that a lot. Like when you're not expecting stuff, they are like notorious for just pulling magic out.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized who the Kofi Kingston for the Women's Royal Rumble is going to be.
Who?
Sol Ruka.
You think so?
It's definitely a chance that she'll be in it. So yeah, why not?
Because she's the one that just recently went viral for that finisher.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's going to want to see the finisher.
Okay.
So it makes sense that they don't have to. That's why it just hit me because I'm like, who's the one? And they just had a battle royal where she has a whole handstand spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that would actually make sense because I think they're gonna put a lot more NXT women in it this time because they haven't called.
They're gonna have to.
At all.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to.
Especially because they didn't call Michelle McCool, which is like
that's surprising.
It's a really big deal for those people who still hold the Divas era in any sort of reverence. Like the fact that she's like, yeah, no, they never called me, and it's like down the street from me, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense because they just pulled Taker out of the coffin.
Yeah, with his bike that wouldn't start.
Listen, bro, they pulled the American Badass out. I will be forever grateful for that one.
And they couldn't tune this shit up before he went out there.
Listen, that bike don't never fucking work.
That was a Chuck Palumbo bike. That was the problem.
Word. That's who they need to get back. Honestly, that's who they need to mend fences with. They need to get Mr. Ass in the fucking Royal Rumble.
Yeah, right,
I mean they did have that little mini plug that they did on Raw 30.
That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. These were our Royal Rumble predictions for Royal Rumble 23. The road to WrestleMania has begun. Continue to follow us, the Sports Mark Analyst, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, every social media platform you can possibly imagine, except for Grindr. We're not on that. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And with that being said, y'all have yourselves a good night, all right? We will see y'all later.